Yo, what's good, guys? Teaminator here, back for another episode of Star Wars Legions. Today we're gonna make it quick and snippy because I am currently on break, and well, needless to say, there's a lot of things to do and so little time to do it in. But I wanted to squeeze in a video before the Christmas break legitimately began for me, so hope you guys are gonna have a good one. Today we're gonna be doing the BX series Commando Droids review. In my previous video, I promised that I would do a review on Special Forces next, but I don't have the ARC Troopers currently painted yet, so that's going to be a little postponed, probably until after Christmas. Tomorrow's going to be a day off, and then day after that, I'll be posting again. But today, yeah. Right off the bat, these guys are really awesome. In almost any scenario, they are never really situational. You can pretty much pin them in any situation, and they can survive at least 2 rounds before you want to throw in the towel. I'd say throw in the towel because you want these guys to stay on the field because they are such a nuisance. Like, I've had opponents just literally specifically target these guys because they were causing such a havoc on the field that they had to be dealt with. But the fact remains, these guys are hard to kill. And it goes without saying, because they're commando droids and special forces, you shouldn't expect anything else less. With the droids being white dice, red dice is a nice new color change to the table. I'd strongly recommend these guys in any deck build if you can. Just one of these is more than enough of disruption for your opponent. More so for their unarmed status more than their armed status. Once these boys get up in your face, it's really hard to push them out. And typically, when that happens, your opponent's going to be trying to get away from them because they're commando droids. So, we're going to be starting off with the 5-point system, starting off with the points. I'm going to start with their strike team. Strike team, I'd highly recommend in any build. Specifically, their well, it honestly doesn't matter. The Deoxys Saboteur or the BX series Sniper is a very fine addition to the set, but I would suggest more the Sniper than the Deoxys, mainly because the Deoxys miners, you have to throw them in harm's way for them to get very nasty. But once you do, you then begin to have field control because you're going to be throwing Deoxys mines all over the place. Now, in my personal games, I count these guys as cover 1 because the Deoxys mine, like, look at it. Look at the smoke in the background. You should count it as cover 1. Phantom Menace, they literally surrounded Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in an entire room. You couldn't see anything except the glow of their lightsaber. If that isn't cover 1, I don't know what is. So, going right off the bat for either the strike team or the regular team, I'd still put it at a solid, let me have focus. It's a 68 point for an entire team. But I mean, it's not too terrible. Like, you're getting the defense die, you're getting Scout 3. The Scout 3 is impeccable, and then on top of that, you get Scale. That's stupid. That's, like, freaking ridiculous. And then Sharpshooter 1, I mean, they're special forces, I would hope so. But Impervious, like, these guys just don't want to die, and that's great. So, with the point section and their ability loadout, I'd definitely give it a 4 out of 5. I'd say 4 out of 5 because the points are pricey and you do have to have experience playing these guys before you go use them on the field. If you just throw them out there willy-nilly, they will die. But if you are an experienced Commando Droid veteran, then you know just how to play them. Also, they get Surge to Hit, so that's always good. The health bar and the defense die, I mean, the red defense die kind of improves on their health status. I feel like they should get a surge to defense, even though it would sound a little ridiculous. They are flipping all over the place, and it's only a marginal percentage increase. But there are ways around that, plenty of them. So long as these guys have surges, you should be fine. So that would also be a 4 out of 10, or 4 out of 5, excuse me. Their weapon system is better than average. but they're not great. It's kind of like in the midsection. It's like that's nice, but it depends on how you roll the dice. With me and white dice, I always roll crits. So these guys will pop off like 2 or 3 crits and then 1 or 2 hits. Not always the case, but it's sometimes plausible. Uh, Offensive armament, for their armament base stats, I'd say it's 3 out of 5. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's very solid overall. And then in their class, you get 1 heavy, 1 ability thingy, which I'm gonna call it. Uh, 1 comms, 1 weapons, and 1 grenade. Fragmentation grenades, I would probably say would be the best for grenades. Fragmentation gives you a surge to crit. So it turns that surge to hit right there into a crit pretty much. So that's always nice. So you get 1 passive hit to crit. Basically switches right then and there. Very nice for that. Like I said, I'd put the sniper on just for more flexibility and for more of a length. Because this guy literally has range 5. You can reach halfway, if not a third of the way across the board and have complete control. It is red dice, lethal, and it's 30 points. So it's only 2 points more than the Saboteur. And you get that range bonus. So I'd say definitely the sniper for that. For comms, for weapons, wait a minute, which one are we doing? I don't even know. Abilities, or, their specialman thingy. I can't think of it off the top of my head. So we have an array of options. I'm going to be choosing specifically 1 of 4, being either these. These would be the best. Here, let me move these guys back so you can see this. These cards would be the best for this unit, being situational awareness. Basically, you spend a dodge, they have AI dodge, pop a dodge, you're able to dodge a crit. It's very nice and very simple. But it's not exactly the greatest it's not terrible. It kind of increases their defensive capabilities, but only by a percentage. But you never know. If you want to play them defensively or have them behind cover, situational awareness definitely helps with that. Hunter is definitely more preferable. It goes along with their offensive capabilities, but it does increase their points. Like I said, these guys are a little expensive, so depending upon how much you have to expend, Hunter may or may not. It does par wonderful with Vibro Swords. Mainly because you have that Scout 3, Charge, Hunter, you pop a few hits off, you passively move, and then you get to practically passively attack. Because once you charge, you basically get a free attack move. You basically get a name token. It increases their vitality by a lot more. Yes, there is no real definitive definition because this is a dice game. But it definitely makes their effectiveness a lot more effective, if that makes any sense. So Hunter would definitely be a most maybe. Tendency is a meh. For the points, it's not honestly worth it. But if you're going in as a strike team, Deoxys Mind Saboteur with Vibro Swords, Tendency is actually pretty good because you're basically you're almost able to have a complete other set of a unit only for 4 points. So basically, when one guy dies, he doesn't really die because you get an additional red attack die for your Vibro Sword. And then the last one is Overwatch. This one isn't terrible, but these guys aren't really going to be acting as guards. You're going to want to use them very offensively. They're great for an offensive push, pop Sentinel down, and then just sit there and wait. But you would honestly need a row of these guys in order for Overwatch to honestly benefit you. If you had enough points to have, let's say, 2 strike teams and 1 full team of commando droids, you're completely set for your special forces, then I would pop Overwatch, but it's a maybe. Maybe with points and everything. So Hunter and situational awareness, what is it? Fragmentation grenades, basically the red grenade, and For their weaponry, either one of these is great. Deflector shields makes these guys stupidly expensive if you got a whole squad unit, but at the same time, it has recharge too, so you're getting your money out of it. Vibro swords are very quick and efficient. If you like to play offensively, I'd definitely go with vibro swords, but deflector shields make these guys impenetrable. I'm telling you that right now. I don't know why the CIS would think of throwing shields on a commando unit that can already flip around and has high armor, but So we're popping the vibro swords mainly for the offensive stance. And then for comms, we're going to have an absolute array, being hacked comms unit, being a meh, HQ uplink, always a must, kind of, and, well, it's always a suggestion. Comms relay, which isn't terrible, but these guys are going to be more on your front line, so they're not really going to be transmitting front to back kind of thing. But it would be good to get a couple order tokens around if you needed to. Long range comms isn't terrible, but for the points, it's definitely a meh. Comms jammer is, it's okay. I mean, if you would, 15 points, they definitely switched it down to 5, I think, but if you throw this in here, throw them in a group of guys, then they become ridiculously effective, honestly, because it definitely disrupts your flow or your opponent's flow. But I have to say, commando droids are great for taking control of the field. So in that order, I'd either say hacked comms unit or HQ uplink. HQ uplink's a teeny bit more diverse, but at the same time, hacked comms unit, like I said, these guys work off of surges a lot more than you think, especially with the white attack die. Surges actually become pretty good for these guys. So with that being said, for the price, I would throw on hacked comms unit just for this build. We're building a very offensively close deck, and I think that's it. Now, I don't have a grenade on it currently because my grenades are shitting my setup. So right now it's a mess. I got all this stuff, and then all this stuff over here. It's cards, blah blah blah. More stuff up here, more stuff here. Like it's I'm trying to sell shit. It's a process, y'all. So with that being said, for our abilities, we're gonna be doing like I said, the grenade. It's gonna be fragmentation. It's gonna be like 5 points, I believe. Not terrible. Now, like I said, this is if we're gonna be decking this guy out completely, but in this case, we are. So, hacked comms unit, get up nice, close, personal. Pop your grenades out. If you're using Kraken or Kalani, if you're using your super tactical droid, you're basically able to have these guys use scout and then pull away from your opponent. And then if your opponent just so happens to have another opponent right there, they get to go into contact with another guy. And if you have Hunter, which you should most likely, and if they're already injured, they're going to basically be your cleanup crew, and they're going to be taking care of 90% of everything. Vibro swords in charge with scouting 3 makes these people a death sentence to fight up close and personal. They also like to hold your opponent still, so while they're trying to squirm, your actual army comes in, blows them to pieces, while your commando droids are just sitting there and just trying to hold them. Situational awareness, mainly because you want to try and keep that survivalness, so you cut that 18-point factor down to a 2-point factor, and you get to par your AI dodge with a little bit of a nice subtlety and finesse. And that will be it for this build. In total, I would tell you the BX Commando droid is a 5 out of 5, 100%. There is no real lacking place. Like, these guys, they can move over the field. They can attack your opponent. Even if you don't equip vibro swords, they have a black attack die, which is better than most. They have surges. They definitely synchronize very well with their armaments. Every ability kind of complements them in any way, aspect, shape, or form. The models are awesome. There's a lot of posability in them. This is just the surface. I have many more that I got to play over the years. But yeah, guys, appreciate the views. If you guys like these videos, be sure to show your support. Make sure you be showing the support down below by subscribing, clicking the bell icon, liking, all that good stuff. If not, it's all good. I'm going to have plenty more content coming out soon, though, so y'all better subscribe, or else, these guys might be coming after you, and they bring in cupcakes. Yeah, it's not a threat, it's a promise. It's like, nah. All right, guys, peace out.